Yo, what's up guys? And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys an insane weapon that's flown under the radar until recently. I got to give a big shout out to Moxsy. He's a YouTuber. I was actually watching his Twitch stream while he was playing with this thing. Then I watched his video on YouTube he made, and all I could think of was, let's give this thing to our digi-clone and see what happens. So I'm going to put Moxsy's video in the description below. Big props to him for finding this one. Now, before we get into the build, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands 3 Zane content, and join the Zane Nation Discord today. Link will be in the pinned comment down below. Alrighty, so just so you all know, before I start explaining things, this is going to be a clone drone build. This build has so much survivability, we won't need the barrier. I know a lot of you don't like barrier builds, and this is for you guys. So, the gun we're going to be building around today is called the Shrieking Devil. This is actually a blue unique gun. You can farm from one of the Hammerlock Hunt missions called the Blinding Banshee. It's on Necrotafeo in Desolation's Edge. And there's a little icon on the map for it even, so it's really easy to find. Now I do want to mention one thing. If you want to use the digi-clone with this build like I am, you have to make sure you roll the shock element as the first element on the gun. With multi-element or multi-mode guns, the digi-clone always uses the first option, even if you have the second one selected when you spawn him, so keep that in mind. Anyways, basically how this gun works is it lets you just shoot off these huge waves of elemental energy, and it damages you, it damages everything in the area. You can also charge it to shoot an extremely large blast that does tons of damage. Now, like I said, you're going to want to find this in shock because we're going to be using the transformer shield to heal ourselves instead of damaging ourselves. Real quick, I want to talk about how amazing this thing is with the clone. There's so many synergies between this gun and the clone, it's actually insane. So not only does the clone get a copy of our shield, but with double barrel he also gets a copy of the gun. So the transformer with this gun turns the clone into a literal tank. He's definitely still killable, but when he's shooting this gun, he will literally charge it to full power. So he just lets out these huge blasts, and it also heals him because he's wearing the transformer. Another trick with double barrel that a lot of people don't realize is that every time you swap, you and the clone get 20% increased gun damage for a short time. Basically, you just want to get right in the face of whatever group of enemies you can, swap with your clone, and then you and your clone will both just thrash them with this gun, and keep swapping. I was reading you can actually stack double barrel up to 3 times, meaning you can also get up to a 60% damage bonus from it. So the last reason that this is actually insane on the clone is because of the augment Schadenfreude, I still don't know how to say it. But basically, not only will the clone heal himself with this gun, but he also heals you. Pretty much as long as your clone is out, you can't really die. So, alright, that's all I'm going to explain about this gun and how much synergy it actually has. Let's get into the real meat of the build and like how to really max out your damage with this thing. So I'm only going to go over the really important skills. You guys know to use synchronicity and violent momentum. You know, those are your damage boosts. But I do want to mention real quick, I did test this with playing dirty, and it definitely doubles your shots. But the thing is, we are actually just going to spam this thing as fast as possible. So instead, I went with Violent Violence. And it's probably the one skill that really pushes our damage to the next level. Since we're using shock, it can be kind of hard to get through armor, but when you're just spamming this thing twice as fast, you'll really start seeing the damage stack up. Next, Salvation. It's always important, and it'll make this gun heal you for health and shield at the same time, so 5 out of 5. Over in the clone tree, I mainly just want to bring up how important I think grenades are for this build. I'm using the Ghast Call. This is probably the strongest corrosive grenade in the game right now, unless I'm missing something. I can't seem to find a better one. If you don't have a Ghast Call, you can actually go get a grenade called Fungus Among Us. I was using that grenade a while ago. I actually really like it. It's from the Witch mission on Eden 6. But anyways, since we're mainly using shock, armor can be a real pain to get through. So by using the strong corrosive grenades, it's going to make our job a lot easier. So use the grenade in the drone tree as well. So besides that, just some of the other skills I have up on the screen. Boosted gun damage, boosted mag size, extra action skill duration, digi-clone upgrades, all these are great skills to use. Now I do want to mention with the Sentinel, I think the two best augments to use are going to be the Winter Drone augment, turning all of its damage into cryo damage, and you want to use the rockets for boosted damage. Because like I said, armor can be a pain, so once again, both of these augments will help break through it. Now that's all I want to talk about for the skills. On to the gear. This is some of the best part of this build. So obviously for the shield, we're using the transformer. Not only will we heal ourselves, but with the 40% ammo absorption, we will actually sometimes regen ammo from our own shots, and enemies shooting us will also regen our ammo. You'll actually feel like you have infinite ammo most of the time. So that's the one main thing that makes this build really shine. The next piece of gear is the Alchemist. This is an insanely powerful gun. If you guys haven't tried this, you really should. It basically shoots Torg stickies at enemies that do shock damage on impact, but when they explode, it's fire damage. So it'll shred through shields, then it'll explode and shred through health bars. It just does insane damage. The only actual downside of this gun is that it self-inflicts shock damage, but once again, since we're wearing the amazing transformer, you just get to not care about that at all. Now I do want to say it technically does heal you, but it's not by a lot, so don't expect this gun to save your life if you're dying. The third most important piece of gear is the elemental projector. Now while spamming the shotgun, you're going to be putting electric dots on yourself all the time, so the elemental projector will give you a 90% damage boost, basically doubling your damage, which is once again just going to push your damage over the top. And for the grenade, like I mentioned earlier, use a really strong corrosive grenade if possible. Armor is a pain, but with strong damaging corrosive grenades, you'll chew right through it. And finally, for the class mod, I'm using an Executor. Like I said, Violent Violence is amazing in this build, so if you can find an Executor with some points in Violent Violence, that's what I definitely suggest. So that's pretty much it for the gear, guys. That's honestly pretty much it for the build. This is extremely fun to play. I'm not gonna lie, I'm usually using my mini-map to be able to tell where enemies are, but even if you end up not liking this gun or the build, I'm telling you, you have to go farm for this gun. It's actually just one of the funniest guns to shoot. I was having so much fun playing, it actually made me laugh out loud, like actually laugh out loud, a couple times. It's just really funny to shoot. On top of that, this thing is definitely strong enough to make it through Slaughter Shaft. The only thing that really slows down the speed is all the armor, like I said. But I definitely rank this high enough to consider it viable because you're an absolute tank. Your survivability is through the roof. And not only that, you can definitely put a lot of damage out with your elemental projector, with your damage boosts, swapping a lot with your clone and double barrel. The damage is definitely not bad, nothing to laugh at. But anyways, guys, like I said, that was the build. Big shout out to Moxsy one last time for doing a video on this gun. I had no clue a blue gun like this could end up being so much fun and pretty powerful. So don't forget to like this video, guys. Sub to the channel for more Zane content. Join the Zane Nation Discord. We want you guys to join. But take it easy, guys. I'm out.